Hey everybody, this is Manny with Art with Manny, and thanks for joining me online. I thought I'd give you a quick video. A few people have been asking me, like, how do you draw, how do you shade, and how do you get it right? I'm of the belief that anyone can draw, anyone, and there are certain things that you just need to get right. I believe that drawing is all about patience, it's about control, and it's about observation. So if you can do that well, I believe you're already halfway there. And I'm going to demonstrate with something very simple. And I'm going to show you how to take your drawing skills from here to here. Um, and here's the thing, sometimes you can look at videos and feel very intimidated and think to yourself, oh my goodness, these guys are using, you watch a YouTube video of this guy creating this amazing piece and he's got these crazy tools. In fact, I've got those crazy tools myself. But the thing is, you can use very simple tools. I mean, the most important tool anyway to use is a pencil, one of these. It's a clutch pencil or a traditional pencil. It's nothing special. But as you grow in skill, you'll start to notice things differently. So you'll start to want to use better tools, better pencils and that sort of thing. But that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to get you going, to get you started. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a sphere, and I'm going to show you how to do this. And I'm going to show you how to go from a basic circle to a good looking sphere. And I'm not going to use any artist jargon or technical language. I'm going to keep it very simple English. So if you game, join me now. And by the way, this video is not edited, so it's just straight shoot. So bear with me if I'm, moving the camera around. I want to get straight to the point and I want to show you how this is going to work. Okay. Okay, so I've flipped my camera around and you should see a plastic thingy, a round plastic cup, or not a cup, what is this? It's a cover. And I'm gonna show you some basic tools that you can find around the house. A pencil, so if you've got one of those lying around, grab that, that'll do. So I'm gonna use a clutch pencil. And it's an HB clutch pencil. I mean, it's an HB lead, and that's what I have in there. We'll talk about pencils in another video, but for now, any pencil will do. I've got a makeup brush. Yes, for your face. So please don't go and steal your mom's makeup brushes or your wife's makeup brushes or your girlfriend's makeup brushes. I don't encourage that, but go ahead and find some makeup brushes. I'm going to show you what this is for. Okay, so I've got different kinds for different tasks, but for now, I think we're going to use this one. I've got some blue tack or some sticky, we call it blue tack. I know in Botswana and South Africa, they call it Prestic. Okay, so, you'll notice this one is pretty dark. It's simply because I've been using it. But any kind of blue tack will do. Like this is a lighter one. This is one that I've been using as well, but not as much. And that's it. I mean, okay, an additional tool that you could bring into play is an eraser. But maybe we'll need that, maybe not. We'll see. So, okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a really nice round circle. So I'm going to use my little template here. This device, this lid of some sort. So find anything round lying around the house and just use that. So that's my round circle. Okay, I could have done it freehand, but this is better. Okay, now the most important thing, one of the most important things rather, about getting a drawing to look realistic and visually appealing, and for it to make sense, it's being able to factor in darkness and light. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw another circle over here, and let's pretend that's the sun. Okay, so if this is my light source shining onto the circle, remember the end goal here is to create a sphere. So if this is my light source shining onto this sphere, which is, it's a circle, but it's going to be a sphere, it basically means that light is going to shine in this area. And this area is going to be dark. So that's the thing that we're trying to create here. So if light is shining in that direction, I'm going to try and make sure that this area is dark and this area is light. Now, another thing I didn't show you is another very important tool, actually, which is graphite dust. So you might be thinking, oh, dude, you are going way ahead of me. Don't worry. I am going to quickly explain what this is because it's actually very essential. And it's where the makeup brush comes into play. So I've got a little container over there, and it's got some graphite dust in it. So what I do is I get a piece of sandpaper and I get a pencil, and then I just basically, go in there and just create some dust out of the pencil. So it takes a few minutes, 1 or 2 minutes. Can you see that forming up? Okay. Once I've got what I need, I can then go ahead and get this little brush, and I can brush it up to my container. Now, you want to be careful with this stuff. It's really light, so it lifts up quite easily into the air. So you want to be very careful with keeping it close to your face. Some might even recommend a face mask when doing this stuff, so just be very careful. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip my brush into that, and then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to apply my graphite dust inside the circle. Just like that. See that? Think of it like, painting, not painting, but applying makeup on your face. And you just keep building up your colors. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to use a bigger brush. Okay. I'm just going to get some of that, and then I'm just going to go in there. See that? Then I'm just going to just go around the edges, and then I'm going to just get that going in circular motion. And you know what? If it's not perfect, don't worry. It's not the end of the world. Right now, you just want to get a feel for this, and you want to kind of, just see how it's going. Okay. I've got another brush that I use for cleaning. So it doesn't really look like a sphere, but that's okay because I need to build up my my tones. So I need to go from light to dark. So what I do is I dip my brush again into the dust, and then I come in, go around my edges, and I just start building those values slowly until I get what kind of starts to look like a sphere. See that? Okay, and I just keep going. I keep going. Remember I said it's all about patience and control. And sometimes this is the hardest thing. Patience can be a very difficult thing for a lot of artists or a lot of aspiring artists. They just want to get it done really quickly, but really patience is a very important virtue in getting good artworks done. Now, notice that I'm also kind of going in a circular kind of, so I've got a dark area in this side of the circle. Still a circle. It hasn't turned into a sphere yet, but I've got a dark circle. I've got a dark sort of shade going on there. And I'm kind of slowly and gradually working that into the lighter area, you know. And don't worry about the bits that are kind of loosely scattered around the sphere. But look at that. Can you see the difference? Can you see that it's starting to build? I'll go in and get another layer going. And this time I'm going to get a little bit more precise. Can you notice that I'm going in as far as possible, I mean as close as possible to the edges. And I'm just taking my time and just increasing the values. Notice that I have not even touched a pencil yet. I am just concentrating on using graphite dust and a simple brush. And it's already looking good. Quite happy with how it's coming around. So, pencil. Now what I'm going to do is, notice how I'm holding my pencil, by the way. I'm holding it right at the edge. And I'm kind of slanting, the angle. It's not direct. It's kind of like to the side. And I'm just going to go in lightly, just gently and lightly holding the pencil. I'm now going to go in as close as possible to the edge, and I'm going to start building those edges. And I'm going to just start shading very carefully and very lightly. Look at that, starting to take shape. Can you see that? Can you see that? Can you see the dark area starting to build up? And I just keep doing that until I'm satisfied with how dark I want this to be. Ooh, looks like I had some graphite dust in this one and I didn't clean it out. It's all right. I can still use it. It's quite easy to recover from these mistakes with art. Look at that. So just going around and creating that beautiful smooth shade. Can you see that circle starting to take shape now? It's not a circle anymore. It's a sphere. But that's the thing. The goal is to do it layer by layer, because when you rush it and you want to get it all done in like 2 minutes, you mess it up. You really mess it up. And notice I'm now starting to work on the lighter areas. There are these blotchy bits that I don't like. Like I don't know if the camera will pick this up, but I want to remove these blotchy bits and just kind of work in the graphite into those areas and just kind of smoothen it out. And it's one of those things where you just kind of, you just see how it goes and you just kind of work it in there. It's at your discretion. It's what looks good to you. Now notice that I had a bit of a shade. I had a pencil shade going on here. So what I do is, little by little with the pencil as well, I build up the dark areas, and then once I've done that, I come in with the brush on top of the area that I've just shaded, and then I'll just kind of smoothen it out. Because what it does, it helps you give that beautiful smooth effect. So for example, if I was to do it here, okay, can you see that? It's a bit grainy and liney. And it's okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but I just like a nice smooth finish, a nice smooth texture. So I accomplish that by using a brush like that. A lot better. So transfer that onto your artwork and you've got a really smooth looking sphere. Now, if I wanted to, I could actually go darker. And I suppose that would take us to the next concept or the next principle in using different kinds of pencils, because pencils, shading pencils, they come in different grades. you know. So again, maybe a video for another day. Let me know in the comments what you would like. Would you like me to go further with this? Let me know if this is helpful as well. But yeah, I mean, you can spend a bit more time refining this. So the only thing that I would most likely do is I would go in with an eraser. Let me see, just a, you know, just a normal eraser. But I want to show you something interesting. Again, the idea here is to work with very simple tools that you have lying around in your home. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just snip off a layer, tiny bit of that eraser off. I'm going to show you why. Okay. Now notice that, you know, the bits that are used up, you know, they're kind of rounded and that sort of thing. But what I'm looking for is these sharp edges. And that's going to help me produce some precision erasing. Watch this. So I'm just going to go around. Remember that it's all about patience and it's about control. This is where you want to be as super careful as you possibly can be, because you've just worked hard erasing your, not erasing, shading your circle. And the last thing you want is to go in there and ruin it. Okay? All right, just give me a minute. I am just going to pause the video and do the erasing and come back. Okay, so I did a little bit of cleaning up around the edges, which is, it's okay. For what we're trying to accomplish, it'll do. Okay. And yeah, again, it's one of those things where you just keep doing it little by little. You build up the gradient, you know, from light to dark, bearing in mind where your light source is. Oh, speaking of light source, remember we had these little blue tack pieces. What you could even do, again, this is, you know, one of those things where you get right with a bit of practice. So, you know, shape it up like so, and then you go in and lightly dab and, you know, gently remove some of the dust or some of the graphite on the paper. But notice that when you do that, it kind of creates that bit of texture looking shade, which is not, it's not very ideal, because it does not complement the whole thing. So what I will then do is I could then go back and just, you know, fix it up with another shade. But it's not often that I use blue tack because of this very problem that it creates, you know. So it's very useful to create texture, and maybe I'll do another video demonstrating that. But it's a great way to remove dust from your paper without rubbing it off. You know, you just basically just you know, you're just taking off dust by just dabbing it, and it does a good job in removing that layer of dust. And you can go around the circle and create really nice light effects. Again, it's one of those practice things that you get right, but just bear in mind of the texture look that it creates. So you might want to go back in there and fix it up with your brush. So notice that the brush is a big part of this exercise. So you know, whenever you're drawing smooth surfaces, oh man, this is the way to go. Makeup brush doesn't get better than that. And I like the makeup brush because it's soft. It's not like a painting brush. Well, you get some really soft ones, so I suppose you could use that. But yeah, you know, $2 store, makeup brush, done deal. Final tip before we part ways. I want to show you something very interesting that I would like you to practice if you're keen on getting this right and mastering this process. And that is developing a gradient from dark to light. Again, when holding your pencil, I like to hold it like so. And the idea is when you're going from dark to light, you want to apply pressure like this. a few times, and then you want to go from left to right. Well, that's what I'm doing. You can do it the other way. It's up to you. But you want to basically, as you move to the right, you want to start, reducing the amount of pressure that you're applying to the paper. And notice that as I go right, it's getting lighter and lighter until I get to the point where, I'm barely even touching the paper. Then I'll go back, basically go over it again, increase my dark area, So what I'm now doing is I am trying to perfect the gradient from light to dark. And you just keep doing this until you get it right. And remember, you can then smoothen this out with your brush. So you can go in there with your brush, and then you can just basically just touch it up, smoothen it out, and your brush will give you that beautiful blend that we're looking for. It gives you that perfect light to dark type effect. And there you go. How cool. How cool. How cool. Yeah, that's it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And yeah, let me know if you'd like us to further this to more advanced techniques and more advanced concepts. I mean, right now we've just drawn a sphere that's kind of floating in space, if you will. But there are other concepts like shadows, there are other things that you can bring into play, and we can go into a lot of details. But I'd like to hear from you, so let me know what you think. Cheers for now. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video, hopefully. Bye.